President Trump is taking next steps in his immigration crackdown. A day after the shooting, Trump posted on Truth Social he will permanently
propaganda social
from what he calls all third world countries. Hours later, the U.S. announced it was pausing all asylum decisions and issuing visas to people from Afghanistan. The State Department also announced it was halting visas for Afghans, including those who had allied with the U.S. and helped during the war in their country.
Because after all, one shooting of 2 National Guard members
California, he serves as the ranking member
pales in comparison to the gazillions and gazillions of right-wing fascist massacres by gun violence in this country every day.
You became a citizen in your early 20s. So as someone who's had to go through the immigration process, what's your reaction when you see this crackdown, just wide scale, on Afghan refugees?
I think first it's important to remember that these Afghan refugees and many others have in our country because of their actual service to keeping our country safe and our national security.
That doesn't mean anything, though.
Turn our backs on
they're brown-skinned people
who worked to keep
they can't be trusted.
Members alive, who worked to ensure that our national security interests, that our interests, whether it relates to diplomacy, to building influence around the world, that we're going to turn our backs on them at this moment. All they have done is so un-American and against the values that we have strived as a country to uphold.
That's because they're MAGA. They don't have American values.
In large part was built by immigrants. Immigrants built this country. They've contributed. They continue to. We have been a country where the best and the brightest from around the world come here oftentimes, whether it's to go to university or to work, where people come here to give their labor, oftentimes taking jobs that other folks don't want to do. And so Donald Trump is doing exactly the opposite of what he should be doing. Everyone in this country right now, of course, is mourning what has happened as it relates to our National Guardsmen and the horrific life that's been lost. We can all agree that it's horrific, and this instance needs to be fully investigated. We need to learn from it and move forward and make any corrections that we may need to make. But let's also remember this is the person that committed this horrific act was someone that worked with the CIA, that clearly went through intense vetting. So let's get the facts first, and let's not demonize our immigrant, migrant, and asylum population.
Congressman,
it wasn't Biden who vetted it. It was Donald Trump who gave him asylum.
Our Afghan allies who supported us
back in April.
Great risk to themselves and their families.